Okay, so today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. This time a year ago, I did a video where I was reacting to opposite opinion reviews on Goodreads. So I'm going to do it again this year. So what does this mean? In a nutshell, basically, I'm going to do a search on Goodreads for reviews of books that I've given a high rating where they've received a low rating review and react to it, and the opposite, books where I've given them a low rating and they've received a high rating and react to it. If you enjoy this video, let me know. With the limited time that we have, I might do a part 2 next week. So let me know by giving this video a thumbs up and in the comment section below. But whether you are new or returning, welcome or welcome back to Mr. Francy Reads. Let's begin. I don't know how many of the books I'm going to get through today. We'll just see how time permits, but let's put the first one up on the screen. I'm looking at high and low lights from the year, so starting in January, I'm going to begin with this book, which is Assaulted Caramel by Amanda Flower. This is book number 1 in the Amish Candy Shop series, the first book in arguably my favorite cozy mystery series of 2022. I love this book so much. It was so incredibly cozy, and I gave it an overwhelming 5 stars. So let's take a look at some of the 1-star reviews that I can see on Goodreads. So the first review that I see says, I really tried to like this book, but I couldn't do it. Oh, poor thing. I found the characters insipid. Really? Really? Insipid? I mean, okay. There was nothing endearing about this book except maybe the pet pig. Everyone loves the pet pig whose name is Jethro. Even Amanda Flower, I've seen her in interviews go, everyone loves the pig. So, yeah. I won't be reading any more in this series. How rude. No, I mean, look, obviously, I should have put a disclaimer at the beginning of the video, and I just forgot to. Everyone's opinions are their own, and in fact, I love the fact that all readers out there are not a monolith. We have different opinions, because it makes it so much more entertaining. Because if everyone felt exactly the same way about the same book, it would just become stale and boring. So I love that we all have different opinions, but at the same time, I'm going to react with how I feel about that review. It was a minimal review. I appreciate that, and it just seemed like the book just wasn't for that person. So let's look at another review, and this one says, I really, the second really is capitalized, wanted to like this book, and I tried really hard to enjoy it, but the bad writing was just too distracting. Bad writing? How very dare you? Amanda Flower doesn't have bad writing. I mean, comment below and let me know if you disagree. As I say, I'm happy with differences of opinion. That's totally fine. But Amanda Flower, bad writing? Really? No. Honey, I've got so many other authors I can put you onto if you want an example of bad writing. That's not one of them. Oh my gosh. I have one that's coming to my mind. I won't say it. I'll move on. I listened to it on audio, and the narrator was also pretty bad, which didn't help. Okay, you saw my instant reaction to that. Rebecca Mitchell, who I don't know narrators off by heart, but I know Rebecca Mitchell's name because I love her. Rebecca Mitchell is the narrator for the Amish Candy Shop series. Too many sh and s in that title. Rebecca Mitchell is the narrator for the Amish Candy Shop series, and I absolutely love her. She is so fantastic. I love her standard narration when she's just dealing with the prose, and when she's voicing Bailey King, our protagonist character. But I also love the voices she provides for the other characters and the emotion and inflection that she puts into the narration. Rebecca Mitchell's amazing. I don't know what you were listening to, honey, but she's amazing. This had all the makings to be a fun, innocent, enjoyable, cozy little mystery story, but it fell way short, way is capitalized, with the author's overtelling, obsession with bad similes, and extremely predictable narrative. No, and no. There is no need to be that rude to Amanda Flower. Mysteries aren't my usual cup of tea anyway. Okay, well, I mean, It's implied in the genre title, cozy mystery. There's going to be a mystery aspect. Now, I complain when cozy mysteries are more mystery leaning, but even I can't deny there's going to be a mystery in every single cozy because it's literally called a cozy mystery. But anyway, mysteries aren't my usual cup of tea anyway, so for me to enjoy them, they do have to be pretty excellent. If one already likes the mystery genre and will read just about anything, perhaps this will scratch the itch, but I just couldn't stomach it. There is so much to swallow in that paragraph. I mean, okay, I get it. This particular reviewer has a very high expectation when it comes to the mysteries that they read. And okay, fair enough. This particular mystery did not meet your incredibly high expectations. I mean, you're admitting that. For me to enjoy them, they do have to be pretty excellent. So you do have that high expectation. So I guess unless it's absolutely perfect, it falls short for you. But then to say, if one already likes the mystery genre and will read just about anything, you don't need to say that. But anyway, within the first few pages, I predicted 5 things about how it would end, and I was right on all counts. This idea was adorable and unique. It was adorable and unique, and you gave it 1 star. Both of these reviewers gave this book 1 star. Wouldn't the adorableness and uniqueness in a cozy mystery, because you need to look at both sides of the genre. There's the cozy side and the mystery side. The cozy side is the adorable side. Wouldn't that count for more than 1 star, or is that just me? Let me know in the comments below. Where are we? The idea was adorable and unique. The execution was unimpressive, and I'm really disappointed. I will not be reading any others in the series. Well, that is absolutely fine, and we don't need you. No, look, some people that I know that I'm close to don't like Amish Candy Shop. They try to solve caramel. That was enough for them. They don't want to read anymore. And that's totally fine. You know, I love people having different opinions. I read books that other people absolutely love that I really don't like. A great example of that was that Joanna Fluke book, Cookie Crumble Murder. I think it's something like that. I did not enjoy that book at all, but that's okay. We can have a difference of opinion. But, you know, my gut reaction to this, my instant reaction to this is, well, we don't need you. Let's move on to another book. Okay, so now going the opposite way, I am going to look at my lowest rated book for January, and that was this book, Glazed Murder by Jessica Beck. I gave it 2 stars, and I don't think I've given a book 1 star this year, but if I have, I'll have to look. But, yeah, so let's take a look at some 5-star reviews for this book and see how we go. To give you an idea, and I am literally doing this live as I'm recording, I have not pre-looked at these reviews, so just to give you an idea of my end, I go into the cozies for the cozy side. That's what appeals me to the series, not the mystery side. And I was really looking forward to all of the donut shop side of this book because it's book 1 in the donut shop series. The donut shop was literally just in the background, and it was much more mystery leaning, which is the biggest reason why I did not like the book. So let's see what those who loved it had to say. So the first one, literally, it has 5 stars, and there's 2 sentences. It says, "This book was calling me!" ! I am addicted to the series now! Okay, that's fantastic, and I'm just going to interject here. Everyone writes reviews in their own way, and don't take this personally, anything that I say. This is just my own opinion, and some people will agree with me, and some will disagree. If you're going to write a review, for me personally, I prefer to see examples of what you are discussing. And for this person to say that it was calling to them and that they're now addicted to the series, I'd love to know specifically what was calling to them about the series and what specifically has them addicted to the series. So not getting much from that review, but still 5 stars. So let's look at the second one, which says, Suzanne Hart. Okay, so it's giving the premise. We'll skip past that. The characters in this book were all fun. Suzanne, who is the protagonist, is a strong character who has no intentions of backing down. Her ex-husband is not very likable, but he's not supposed to be. She also has a hot new love interest in the state, police officer assigned to her case. Her mother may be overly protective, but she's lovable and truly cares about her daughter. There's the nosy neighbour and the retired cop watching Susan's back too. This is a quick light read which tosses mystery, romance and humour all into one fun package. Another fun, cozy read for me. I just love finding new to me authors. Each chapter ended with a donut recipe I was craving. I think they're trying to say craving donuts throughout the entire book, but I resisted. LOL. Yeah, interestingly, not once did this particular reviewer who has written a lot more than the first one mention that the book revolves in any way, shape or form around donuts, other than the fact that there is a recipe at the end of every chapter. Now, while that is fantastic that there is a recipe at the end of every chapter, for me, I much prefer for the culinary side to shine through in the book itself. And when I want a culinary book, and this is what I was wanting going into this series, because it's literally called the Donut Shop Mystery Series, I was hoping to get a lot more about the donuts themselves, the process of cooking it, if there's any type of like special ingredients that were being used or ways to mix up the cooking process itself, where the most we were getting was just that the donuts were there and they were being sold and that was it. And so it wasn't enough for me. But there you go. There's 2 5-star reviews for that one. Okay, so I started scanning through the books that I've read this year because I wanted some standouts for me, whether they were standout highlights or standout lowlights. And while there were a number of books that did receive 5 stars from me, I found many reasons not to include them on this particular list. They'll probably be my favorites and non-favorites of the year in the next video. So, yeah, I just kept scrolling through. And then I came across this one. And I knew right away, yes, we need to do this one. So let's put it up on the screen. It is this book, Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka. I was forced to read this book because I was studying a degree in literature at university and this was a requirement. I did not like this book at all. It is literally a book about a bug. Nothing interesting happens. How much time do you have? So now I need to see what those who gave it 5 stars actually said. You ready? Let's do this. Alright, the first one says, unlike Kafka's poor cockroach, whom no one would come to terms with and is destroyed by their ultimate hatred of creepy crawly insects that roam the house, my ex was embraced by all and became the most popular party person. Although at one stage I did have to fight off a woman who was swinging her handbag at me and tell a Spanish prostitute that my husband's unwanted attentions were no business of mine. I don't know what she is writing here. I'm going to move on from that and we'll look at another one.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Alright. Gregor's transformation into a bug is no ordinary plight, and yet the fallout of this event is bitterly recognizable, relatable even. In fact, I associate myself with Gregor so exactly that it is almost as if Kafka had been writing in his veiled symbolic way about my queer anxieties just as they are today in this summer of 2021. Okay, first of all, the fact that anyone, let alone someone who labels themselves as being queer, I am a member of the LGBTIQ+ community, so, but anyone, queer or not, relating to the book for its symbolism, I think that's fantastic. Anyone relating to any book for its symbolism, I think is wonderful. So there's not really a lot I can say to that. I think that more just relates to this person's personal experiences before they read the book. Yeah, so I'll accept that. Whoa, they write a very long essay. So let's keep going. So next one. So Kafka's Metamorphosis played as much to my subconscious anxieties as it did to my conscious ones. Like those nightmares most of us have about our teeth falling out or our home falling apart, I came away feeling like I had just watched a David Lynch film. I enjoyed this, and I'm not 100% sure why. Maybe I liked it because it can be exhilarating to face one's fears like skydiving or bungee jumping or marriage. Fair enough again, because that is their opinion. As far as I'm concerned though, I wouldn't say I had that experience. I was completely bored all the way through. If you want to say that it was thrilling, like on the edge of your seat thrilling type stuff, I personally disagree. I found it to be completely boring. There were moments where I felt like Kafka was trying to make it thrilling, but it just, I felt like he failed on the execution. That's just my own personal opinion. So the next one I'm going to put up is this book, which is The Housemates by Ian Rob Wright. This is an adult horror. I loved it. I gave it 5 overwhelming stars. Imagine the TV show Big Brother combined with the film series of Saw. It was horror to the umpteenth degree within a game within a game within a game within a game. It was so fantastic. I loved it all the way through. Let's see what 1-star reviewers had to say. The headline is so bad. Excuse me? So bad. I'm intrigued to know why you thought it was bad. Seriously, this book actually exists and actually gets positive reviews? Yes, it does. It was really good. What the heck? I'm sorry, but you want my reaction? This is my reaction. The story is unoriginal and predictable. Disagree. Highly disagree. I've seen Big Brother. I've seen Saw. I have never read or seen anything that is a combination of the two. Disagree. This story is unoriginal and predictable. Whatever. I mean, literally, they wrote that. They wrote whatever. It's the writing and the characters that are appalling. I disagree. I thought that they were perfect characters for the book. At least once per page, I had to stop reading and laugh at how bad it all was. Excuse me? These people are meant to be adults caught in a life or death game, but talk like a group of 11-year-old boys playing Fortnite. I disagree. I would love for you to elaborate on this because I completely disagree with what you're saying. I've removed any books by this author from my want to read list. Oh, well, that's fine because we'll just swap because I've added them to my TBR, so we're all good then. Don't worry, Ian Rob Wright. I got you back. And the next one says, The Housemates has been best summed up by many others as Big Brother meets Saw. Yep, exactly. And I think that's very fitting, so I'll echo that sentiment too. While this is an installment in a series, that's true it is, but you can read it as a standalone. It can easily be read as a standalone. Okay, we're on the same page here, and you gave it 1 star. Which is what I did, and I'm glad I just went straight for the book with the premise that interested me most, instead of insisting on starting from the beginning, because while I was engaged enough to finish this in one go, I have to say that I was annoyed by more segments than I enjoyed, and I have literally zero interest in ever spending another moment with this main character. Really? Damien is such a complex and yet interesting character that I'm surprised to hear you say that. I hope I get examples. Damien is one of the most aggravating, insuffering protagonists I've met in a long time, and if he had rolled his eyes one more time, I counted, I think, 6 eye rolls by the 5% mark. Okay, if that annoyed this person, then fair enough. I would have screamed. Really? For the other things I disliked here, one-dimensional side characters. Okay. We have a massive cast of characters because at the beginning, I think there's some like 12 or 14 people, housemates. So, what do you call them in the States in Big Brother? House guests. There's like, I think 12 or 14 of them. So we have a large cast of characters, and some of them need to be one-dimensional because we need to deal with those early exits. So I'm forgivable with that, and this reviewer isn't. So that's just a differing of opinion. A very predictable twist ending. I completely disagree. There is a twist ending. They're right. And it blew my mind. I did not expect it at all. So there you go. They've got some spoilers. Give me a moment. I'm just going to check what the spoilers are and then in an unspoilery way tell you if I agree or disagree. Their first spoiler revolves around, POC representation. I understand there was one POC character. If that is going to make you give a book 1 star, then you have every right to do that. I am absolutely 100% for equal rights for everyone across the board. I don't see skin color. I don't see sexual orientation. I don't see gender, or any of that. Everyone has the right to decide how they're going to review based on whatever it is. For me, I just went with the characters as they were and wasn't looking as deeply as that spoiler. Okay, with the second and third spoiler that they had, the first one was talking about the backstory of the POC character and how they didn't appreciate that backstory. Everyone in the house has a horrible backstory, so I don't think you can just pinpoint that one character and go, oh, because they're POC, they got this bad backstory, because everyone got a bad backstory, and honestly, the non-POC character backstories, for me, seemed worse than the POC ones. So I disagree with what they're saying with that. They're also talking about their issue with the very first horror scene of the book, which I can't go into because it is a spoiler. And they had an issue with what that horror was. That is fair. I understand that. Different people are going to take that differently. But for me, if it's an adult horror, you can go as far past the line, the proverbial line, as you want to. So I will not mark an author down for that. It is incredibly horrific, but I appreciated that because if I'm going to go into an adult horror, I want to see a full-on adult horror. I don't want to see a very subdued adult horror. An example I can give you is Pet Sematary by Stephen King. It just bored me, honestly. So if I'm going into a horror, I want to see horror. Otherwise, what is the point in me reading a horror? Okay, I'm going to leave that there because I feel like I've already run out of time. But if you enjoyed any of this, let me know in the comment section below. And if you would like to see a part 2, let me know. Let me know if you're okay with me to go have a longer duration or if you'd prefer for it to be a shorter one. But in the meantime, that is where I am going to leave it. What are some opinions that are opposite to yours that you've come across on Goodreads and would like to share? Let me know in the comment section below. But in the meantime, I'm going to let you all go with peace, blessings, and so much love. Please do be kind and love one another and spread that sparkling energy of yours all throughout the world. And until next time, happy reading. Bye, everyone.